Welcome to Just John and April, the relationship podcast, your place for life, love, and laughs. In today's episode, I'm so stressed. Fact or fiction, and the word of the day. Hey, babe.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
What happened? Why are you just okay? Did you injure yourself again?
I think he knows why.
I don't know why. What did I do?
What did you do last night when I walked in the room?
I was watching TV.
Yes, and what were you watching?
Travelers. Why I don't get it? What's the problem?
Netflix cheating. I mean, you should know how I feel about you watching shows that we watched together, and you just went on. He didn't just watch an extra episode. He watched like an entire season.
I didn't watch the whole season. I just finished the season.
I mean, and then when I came in, I'm like asking questions, trying to catch up. I'm like, so what happened? Why is he...
Okay,
first
of all,
there was a couple in the show that hated each other.
Right.
They were like fighting with each other, and she was trying to get away from him. And then all of a sudden, I come in, and they're dancing together. And I'm like, when did this happen? Like...
Oops. Okay,
and
so
he
first
can't
of all,
go back like
right. There's
8
no way
episodes.
There's no way I can do
That's
that.
just
now.
that was just wrong.
Well, first of all, let me just say that
That was
we
just
do
wrong.
have certain shows that we know from the beginning that we watch together. Is that correct?
That was one.
No, it was
John,
not one.
it was.
See, no,
We discovered that show together.
that's not what happened, April. I started watching Travelers without you. And then I thought you might like it and said something to you about it. You said, oh, I do like it. And then you started
Okay.
watching with me. But it wasn't like it was a show that we started
that's
off.
even more. You introduced like, okay, I have to stop watching this right now to include her because it's so good.
Right.
Okay, so that makes it, I was really, now I can't go back. I don't have time to go back.
That's true. So
You
the
don't
problem,
even care.
Okay, so here's my problem with this particular show.
You don't even care.
I care. But the problem is April never has time. When are we ever going to finish the show if I have to wait for her to actually watch it?
I'm saying we can just do like we do bit by bit.
It takes
You
a while.
know?
So I'm already waiting for you on Star Trek Discovery. How many episodes of
You
Star
better
Trek?
not watch that
How many
without
episodes
me.
of Star Trek Discovery have we seen? Exactly, like 2.
Well,
It's been on for mad long. The season's over now. Like they've finished showing,
we
like
just have
airing
to
all
wait
of them.
until a break. Like I'm off tomorrow.
Yeah, well,
So
maybe
we can watch a
binge
couple of
something,
episodes, I mean, you just have to wait.
Now, it's funny. We're just acting stupid, but Netflix cheating
No,
is a
we're
real
not
thing.
acting stupid.
Okay, well, maybe we're not.
I mean, see, he doesn't even take me seriously. And then he talks about how it's a real thing, but he doesn't even take it seriously when I'm saying.
Okay, so clearly it's a real thing in our relationship right now.
Let me tell you, if I did this to him,
What show
you would not be happy.
Now, let's just be honest. For the most part, I'm really good at making sure that we don't watch the shows that
That's
we have
why-
agreed to.
no, there's no. It's just you don't have to agree.
We always agree.
You don't
So
have to
that-
say anything. You just
there are,
know.
There are certain shows
You
that I watch.
feel it.
Certain shows that I watch without you. You don't care about
That's
at all.
right, because you knew when I would be like, walking out the room while it's still going on. I mean, that's a sign.
Oh man.
I mean, I watch shows without you because I know you don't care about them, and
Right.
you'll watch them with me when I'm watching them. But we know the shows that we watch together.
I'll tell you a show that I don't watch that she watches, and we're probably going to end up talking about the show because she's been going crazy over every episode lately. This Is Us.
Oh,
I
I know
don't-
you guys watch This Is Us.
I
My
don't
husband's
watch-
like the only
I
one who
don't
doesn't
watch
watch
This
it.
Is Us. Yeah.
But I've cried on every episode.
I know you cry every time.
Except like
you're
2.
crying. I could tell
There's
when you're watching
2
This
that
Is
I
Us.
did not. I just teared up, but I didn't actually let the tears did not fall. But the rest of the episodes, they actually fall. I'm actually weeping.
So we should talk about This
So
Is Us in
good.
the next episode.
So good. Yeah, we will.
Yeah, because I know you've been
Yeah.
talking about Randall and who's the other?
Beth. I got to talk
yeah.
about Beth and Randall.
Yeah, so apparently some junk is going on right now. That's a big deal. See, my problem with that show is that it feels like they're constantly trying to make you cry.
John,
I'm serious.
it's real life. Like, that's
please.
why it's
No.
real life.
No, it's
It
not
is-
that real.
It is real life. And it just makes you cry because it's so good, man.
Yeah, well. We'll talk about it next week.
Let me know what you think. I know you agree.
They probably do agree. Now,
everyone watches it, but
I do want them to comment though. I want to know: do you care about? Is there a thing in your relationship with Netflix cheating? Like,
yes.
Have you had a situation where your significant other has watched something without you, and you were very upset because you thought that was your show together? And did it actually feel like cheating? Like, did it feel like the person betrayed you?
I feel betrayed when that happens.
It doesn't happen that often, babe.
But it has happened a couple. See, when it happens, it's shows that are like, how could you do that? I'm like, wow.
Anyway, so if you feel cheated on like April, put it in the comments, and we'll see what you think.
Okay.
Anyway, I was thinking we should talk about stress.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think that's great to talk about that because it's serious.
Yeah, it's really serious. Stress, what it can do to a relationship, what it can do to your life, what it can do to your health. So we had a conversation just today with one of our friends who is dealing with stress. In fact, we're kind of just thinking about talking about stress on tonight's podcast. And then we talked for like the next 45 minutes about stress.
Yeah.
And we realized that was like a confirmation that's what we need to talk about. Obviously, you guys know we just moved here. We talked about it in our first episode. And so that created a tremendous amount of stress. It actually, we think, affected our daughter's health. We're probably not going to talk about all that tonight, but we think that had an effect on, and we think it was stress related. Yeah. April and I have been dealing with different things. April went to urgent care last week.
Yeah.
I think that might have been stress related. He thinks
it's stress related, but I don't feel stressed. But usually you don't know that you're stressed until, something happens. Because even when we moved here, I felt like, we are together. We were connected as a family.
Right. That's true.
We were spending a lot of time together.
Yes, that's true.
So I didn't feel like I was stressed at that. I mean, I knew it was stress, but like kind of a good stress, you could say, or let's say it was a expected stress.
Okay.
You know
so
what I mean?
You knew the stress associated
yeah, because
with moving.
we're moving, new jobs, and that kind of stuff.
But we tried to compensate, and so you figured everything was fine because we were kind of making sure we had time together as a family and different things like that. And we thought that would kind of help.
But there were signs that let me know I was stressed because I gained like 10 pounds since we moved here, which is a lot,
That's probably
when you're talking about your clothes, because that's all I care about, fitting my clothes.
Right.
And so I needed brownies every night.
Right.
I mean, I went back to eating things that I normally don't eat.
Chips, soda.
And my hair was falling out. I'm serious, guys. Like, I was washing my hair, and as I washed my hair, I was doing this, and I was just looking at the hair that was in my hands.
I remember coming into
I was like, oh my goodness.
Coming into the bathroom, and you were in there doing your hair, and like I could hear you like crying or something. I was like, what's going on? And I was kind of like, what's wrong? And you were like, my hair's coming out. Now, whenever you brush or do something like that, there's always hair in the brush. Right. So I just figured it was no big deal.
When it's your hair is coming out. I mean, It was, even when I did my hair, it was so thin. My hair is already fine and thin. So it was like even worse. Like I could see my scalp. It was bad. And I know it was because of the stress that we were having moving here. And I just felt like, man, stress can cause so many different things that you don't even expect.
Right. So here's my concern about stress, though. And we talked about this a little bit just now with our friend. The thing that concerns me about stress is that I don't think most people respect it. I don't think we think it's as big of a deal as it is.
That's because you can't see it.
Yeah. I think I think that's something to do with it. I think that's part of it. And I don't think we realize how many of the things that we deal with in terms of our health are connected to stress.
True.
So I think not being able to see it is one thing, but I think there's a bigger thing than that that's going on. Honestly, I think it's our American culture. I think in our culture, we reward people for being hardworking, and hardworking really means people that never stop working. And then we kind of almost punish or castigate people who take breaks. We call them lazy and stuff like that.
Goodness, that is so true.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is you end up going throughout your life, grinding it out. I have a T-shirt. I have a T-shirt in the other room that says sleep is the new broke.
Yeah.
And I remember buying it proudly.
Yeah.
Thinking this is, I'm going to wear this out and stuff like that.
Right.
But the message of that's not really good. I mean, you can't even sleep. It was what in the world, man?
You're trying to make money. You got to work all the time.
Right.
I guess that's what it's saying.
I guess my point, though, is we really sort of glorify and kind of put on a pedestal people who never stop working.
That's so true.
And because of that, our culture really sort of objectifies the things that lead to stress that actually end up messing your health up.
It's true.
That's bad.
I'm telling you, I have worked at schools where the principal or even other people in the, the faculty criticize the teachers that leave right away.
That's a problem.
And I'm like, man, and I mean,
school day's over. That you're supposed to be able to leave, and they're criticizing you because you're not staying.
Well, and the
work.
comments are like, well, she leaves right after school.
Right.
And I'm like, okay,
right. So
great.
Yeah, right.
School
day's over.
And it's not like these are people who didn't get work done. They did, they taught well. They had their lessons done. So I don't. That is so true. And they were criticized and looked down upon because they didn't stay late like the rest of us.
Right.
And I would be there till 5, 5
Out of
and 6
necessity,
o'clock at
you
night.
had to be there later, but it wasn't because you were trying to impress your
No,
boss.
it's because I had stuff to do. But I'm just saying, if I could, because now that I've been in the work for a while, I now can leave early.
Right.
Can leave right away.
Right on time.
And I have felt guilty for doing that. Like, man, I left early every day this week.
Right.
Should I stay?
Right. Yeah,
it's like I have things to do, but I also have it balanced and know that I'm going to get it done.
Right.
Why is it that that's a bad thing? Why do we feel guilty?
Right. I think there's stress that can come from a lot of different things. Right.
Okay, so let's go through some of those things.
I think you can have stress from maybe being in debt.
True.
Or just not making enough money.
Right.
I think there's stress when you're thinking about whether or not your kids are going to get into a certain school or
just your kids. Period.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But to me, just personally, I don't know if this is the case for everybody. To me, the biggest stressor in my life is work related. Mm-hmm. It's not the other stuff.
And I think that's with other people. I think
it's
so
work.
Too. I think that's the top.
I agree.
But you can also have stress within, if you're having, strife within your relationship.
Right.
If your children are,
That's true.
Causing issues in the family.
But I think work stress can end up contributing to strife in the relationship.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you come home, you bring that stress home.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to do one of them, those cards actually right here. Just click that and we have a little survey. I want to find out from you what kind of things stress you out the most.
Yes,
we'll put it right there.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, bottom line, stress is bad. Now, I think they say there's good stress, but I mean, for the most part, it's bad. But I don't think we respect it for as bad as it actually is. I actually think that for us that grind it out and that think the way the rest of Americans think about work and stuff, see, my thing is, and we have this saying in our family, we work hard and then we play hard.
Right.
And the point is, the reason I work so hard is so that when it comes time to actually take a break, I'm going to take it and I'm going to do it guilt-free. Because I know I can't work indefinitely because I'm going to die one day from all the stress that I'm accumulating.
And it really is a culture that we live in. And let me tell you, I remember my dad telling me that my grandfather, if I'm not mistaken, was in the newspaper because he had never missed a day of work.
Not one day.
Not one day.
Right.
No sick day or anything in all the years.
Right.
And he had worked like 40-something years, something crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is that possible, first of all?
Right.
Okay, they don't make them like they used to,
Right.
first of all.
Right, that's true.
Because I when I hear that, I'm like proud of him for that.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I think that's an accomplishment.
It is.
Yeah.
But,
right.
How did he feel? Was
Did
it stressful?
Did he have any work-life balance?
Exactly.
That's the question.
And I know back then you had to work. It was he had to work to make money for his family, so I get it.
And he had 6 kids and everything.
Exactly.
They're poor, so
I get that.
we understand that.
But what I'm saying is, we see that as a positive when he was doing that because he had to.
Right.
But
exactly.
I think that those lessons or that teaching continues over the generations and the years.
Yeah.
And it makes us think that that's what we need to do, or that's what we have to do to look better.
So we both grew up in homes that had another feature that was similar to that. Both of our fathers are pastors, and we grew up where we never went on a family vacation. How many times did I say? Never went on a family vacation without it being tied to our fathers preaching or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's because they didn't have enough money to take us anywhere. But what that reinforced in my mind was that you should never take a break. I mean, when we were going out, we were all having fun and doing stuff like that. Dad was still stressed out about whatever he had to do with that was work related while we were on that trip. Sometimes it was a week of prayer. Sometimes it was like just a 1 day sermon, whatever. It didn't matter. The point is, it was always a problem where it didn't feel like all of us were on vacation. It was most of us, everybody except Dad, basically.
Right, because, when you have something to do and you have a presentation to make or you have a meeting you have to go to.
That's where your mind is.
Yeah, and you're not meaning to be stressed out.
Right.
But you are.
Right. Yeah. So I think work-life balance is really important. Now, there was something else we were thinking about. We actually talked about this too, that might add another layer. So I actually believe that even though our fathers never took a break, I don't think they're as stressed as we are these days. And actually, your grandfather, I wouldn't be surprised. Even after all those days of missing no work and stuff like that, I don't think people back then were nearly as stressed as we are today.
That is true. Well, I have a theory as to why people are more stressed.
Why?
And I know this might sound a little, I don't know, but I really believe this.
Okay.
This is my own theory.
Okay.
But I believe that people are stressed at a higher level because of social media.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
I do. Because I have seen, and you guys know this is true, when people go and they're, skimming through Facebook and Instagram, whatever, and they're seeing their friends with this perfect life. These they're on vacation, they're at the beach, they're, it can cause stress when you're not necessarily where you want to be in life. And you're seeing all these friends or these people who have these great relationships, and I'm putting that in quotes because you can create whatever story you want.
You're right.
That's why, my story, you can create whatever story you want on Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be the true story.
Right.
And I'm not saying everybody who posts is lying.
Right.
But what I am saying is you can't necessarily look at that and say, man, everybody's life is great.
Right.
And mine's not.
You're also not saying that people should be posting all their negative stuff online.
Yeah, I'm not saying that either.
What you're saying is we need to temper our own expectations when we watch this stuff and know that, hey, this stuff that doesn't mean everybody's life is perfect. We're seeing great things, but
it stresses you out when you look at that and you think, man, I want to be doing that right now. That's where I should be in life.
So there's more pressure these days to compete than ever before because we can see everything like that. I agree, babe. I think you're onto something.
That's one of the biggest stressors.
I agree. So here's my thing. I actually think that the stress level is higher too for a similar reason. I would say if you're talking about social media, that has to do with technology.
Right.
Well, mine's technology related as well.
Okay.
I actually believe that we have the ability to take more work with us in more places because of our cell phones and iPads and stuff like that we didn't used to have back in the day. It's actually possible now for me to work all day nonstop I can work in the bathroom.
Yep. Man, that's so true.
I work in the
bed.
Think
about that.
I'm working in the bathroom. I'm always working. I'm always checking my email. I'm always checking my text messages. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
I check my work email all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's right there.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So, I think we should give a few tips and let's give some encouragement. First of all, I think everybody should be doing more with trying to be less stressed out. So there are a few things we think you can do that will actually help you out. Number one is going to be with technology. You may not like this idea, but I think it helps. I think you should pick a certain time of day or night where you actually turn off your electronics and you do not pick them up. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done for the day and that's it. You know how they say some people decide not to take work home? Well, I think we should have the same attitude with our technology. Now, you may think you can't live without it, but I don't think it's true.
Just take a break.
You have to take a break.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
literally, even if it's just 1 hour per day where you turn it off and you're done. Or if you say, I'm going to go to bed by 11, and then 1 hour before bed, turn your social media, turn your phone, whatever off, and don't look at anything. It actually is very freeing.
It's freeing.
There's no question about it. That will help to lower your stress. You know what I actually did? I was telling you this earlier. What I actually did was, there was a point at which the vibration on my phone was giving me like a stress response. Every time it vibrated, it was like all of a sudden I realized I got to work again.
Yeah.
So I turned off my ringer and I turned off the vibration. So now I hear nothing. Now I still check my phone periodically, but when I check my phone, I'm checking it. I'm not responding to something that I heard or saw.
Right.
If you do that for a couple of hours a day, it might lower your stress level. I think that's actually something you should do.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I always say during the week, have a little vacation.
Yes, absolutely. You have to.
And I mean, taking a bath could be considered that
That's right.
vacation.
Yeah.
Your phone is away.
Yes.
Candles.
That's right.
Bath, even if it's, you could do it with your
Some
significant
kind of
other
aromatherapy
or
type thing. That's huge,
or by
man.
yourself.
That's right.
But just a spot where you can just relax.
Yes.
Once a week, I feel like that can happen.
I agree. You got to have a hobby. There's got to be something that you can do that just takes your mind off. So I got a boy who builds Legos. The man, he is a man. He's about to be 40.
That's
okay,
true.
A grown man.
That's true.
He goes out and he buys sets of Legos and he puts them together. He gets them big old sets with like 5,000 pieces, and he'll go into his office and he'll just put that thing together, and then he'll go the next day and do the same thing. It's a tremendous de-stressor for him.
Yeah.
And people might laugh about it, but that's fine. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Who cares?
but you have to have something.
Yeah.
I mean, sport.
Yes, absolutely.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Something that will, take away or help that stress to be relieved.
April and I play golf.
That's
we love
definitely
it.
stress relief.
It's de-stressor. We walk and we play.
Excellent ball, April.
All that green, that nature, being out there in the fresh air, getting the exercise at the same time. It's a very slow-paced game, so it's not a lot of, high stress with your heart rate or anything like that. It's great. We love
So
that.
I just want to pause for a second because I want to go back to the stresses of
Yes,
life.
yes.
Okay? Because we know kids, family, spouse,
Yeah.
Your job.
Right.
But I think, when you look at some stresses when it comes to work, I think that sometimes people are stressed because they're not in the job that they really want to be in.
They're not fulfilled.
They're not fulfilled.
Wow.
And so it makes you stressed to the point where
You dread even get up to go to
dreading
work
to get
today.
up.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
stressful.
That's true. You're right.
When you don't want to get up and go to work, and then when you get there, you're not liking maybe the environment, the people, what
Yeah.
you have to do, but you got to make money. You got to make money for the family.
So you're saying, what you're suggesting then is maybe a person should decide to even make less money and do something they love.
It is worth it. I do believe it. I believe it is worth changing your lifestyle if you have to.
Right.
To be less stressed, because stress can put you in the hospital.
That's true.
And you don't even know it, and then over time it's like all of a sudden you're sick.
Right.
And you don't know why you're having these ailments.
Right.
And it's stress
stress
related.
related. Yeah.
But again, we don't
respect it, babe.
Stress.
We do not respect it.
No.
We don't think it's that deep. If I ended up with something like measles or the mumps or chicken pox, something you can see, you would immediately say, I got to take you to the doctor. Take me to the doctor. Take me to emergency. I got to deal with this.
Right.
But I think because stress is invisible, we act, and because it is something that's celebrated in our culture. You know, now.
And it's funny because when you ask people, how you doing or whatever, you're like, girl, I am so stressed.
Yeah, that's like a good thing. It's like a badge of honor.
Kinda, And I mean, you say it kind of in a way like, but then it's because I'm working and I got this going, I got that going.
Grinding it out.
But what can you cut?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we had all kind of things going on with our kids in sports and all things. I had to tell my son, I'm sorry, we have to cut the soccer.
Yeah. It's too many things.
It was too many things.
Too
You
many
got soccer, you got
activities.
basketball, you got drums, you got all this other, you got guitar, you got this. And I'm saying, you have to balance your life.
You do.
So
I want to plug a book real quick. There's a book I read some time ago. The title is Margin.
Love it.
Excellent book.
Yes.
In fact, I'll put the book in the show notes so that you can just click on it. I'll put the Amazon link there so that you can have it. I think the doctor's name, written by a medical doctor, Dr. Swenson, I think his name is. Mm-hmm. The book's premise is basically if you saw a piece of paper and you wrote all the way from the left to the right without, how there's margins in your paper, you don't write all the way to the top of the bottom of the left or right. You don't do that.
Right.
When you see a piece of paper that's fully packed with information, normally all the way around the borders, what we call the margins, there is blank space.
It's empty.
That's empty. Well, this guy's book, his theory basically is that you should have empty space in your life just to have empty space. Mm-hmm. Your life is supposed to have margin. Mm-hmm. So his theory is when something cancels, you should not fill it back with something else.
That's right.
Stop trying to have you ever looked at your calendar and you've got something going from literally the time you wake up all the way to the end, your day is fully packed with stuff? That actually makes me feel like I'm a successful person when I see that.
Wow.
But the reality is, according to his book, I'm killing myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
You have to plan actual times of nothing.
It's true.
To be in your day.
Silence too. Sometimes just silence.
That's right. Yeah.
Sometimes I love just driving in my car and no one is in there. I don't have
nice.
I don't have the the radio on.
That is nice. Every
I
so
don't
often.
talk on the phone. Just quiet.
Yeah.
And it
We
just
need
gives you a
that.
peace.
That's it.
You
You
know?
need that, and you need to be able to recharge. So we say that you should be taking vacations. You should be taking time off. Even if you can't afford to go anywhere, do a staycation. Mini
Vacation with your bath.
That's right.
A mini vacation with a golf game or
Yep.
whatever
Yep.
sport.
Gotta do it.
Exercise
Yep.
can be a mini vacation.
Yeah.
Just something that will take your mind off of those things
Yeah.
so that you can go back to it and deal with it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Why don't you put something in the comments section if you've had any stressors, any particular things that really stress you out? We want to hear about it. Let us know. And maybe there's some way we can encourage you about it, but we can share each other and
Or
talk
what
about
you
ways we
do
do stuff.
to take away that stress.
That's true. What do you do to de-stress? Do you
Right.
have any particular things that help you out? Because I think everybody has their own way of getting rid of
That's
stress.
true.
I think it's important. I think we should take it more
is.
seriously, man.
It is.
Yeah.
I agree.
So stop going to urgent care, babe.
Babe.
All right, now it's time for a little game that we're going to play. It's called Fact or Fiction. And April's going to lead this. I believe she's going to
Hey.
ask me maybe 5 different things. And I have to guess as to whether or not I think this thing is fact or fiction. Is this thing basically true or false?
Right. And these are randoms. So,
Yeah. Just for fun.
Just for fun.
See how many of these you get right.
Okay. Fact or fiction. You ready?
I'm ready.
Women generally have a higher pain tolerance than men. Fact or fiction?
I would say fact on that one. I'm pretty sure of that one. I'd say fact.
Okay. Why?
I think because, I had some pretty bad pain recently with my back situation. It was like nerve pain going down my leg. It was the most excruciating pain I ever felt. In fact, the pain was so bad I passed out. But you had a baby and you didn't pass out. So
Twice.
Yeah, right. You had 2 babies.
Baby.
That's true. You had 2 babies.
Okay, we're not gonna go.
You had 2
when
babies.
The epidural didn't even work.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would have
We
to
won't
say
talk
that
about that.
women have a higher threshold for pain than men, just because you seem to do it better with stuff like that.
Very good. You are
I'm
correct.
right. Okay, good. Fact.
Okay.
Yes, got it right.
When cooking with alcohol, all the alcohol burns off. Fact or fiction?
Okay, so I need this one to be fact. Because
Because you're an alky.
apparently, if this is fiction, I might be. So I have a cousin who cooks a lot. He cooks very well, and sometimes he uses alcohol in the dishes and stuff, and they're like the best tasting ones. So I'm gonna say that's fact for 200, Alex.
I am so sorry.
Oh,
It is fiction.
That can't be true. Are you
A
serious?
study from the U.S. Department of Agriculture
Babe, come on. You're killing me.
shows that it can take longer than 2.5 hours for all the alcohol to be cooked out of food to which wine or some other alcoholic beverages has been added.
Uh-oh. What? Yikes.
Fiction.
Now does that same study say whether or not you can actually get drunk off of
No.
Okay.
But
All right,
we'll
good.
just
Well.
we'll just be alks when we eat his food.
Okay. We'll just cut that one out of the show, and no one will have any idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Fact or fiction? It takes as long as 7 years to digest swallowed gum.
7 years to digest swallowed gum. Let's say fact.
Okay, it is fiction. So you lied to Julia just yesterday. You told her this just yesterday. Yes,
Oh my
because she
goodness.
swallowed her gum. That's exactly
Oh my
what you
God.
said.
I didn't say 7 years, though, did I?
Well, if you swallow gum, it is true that you can't digest it.
Okay. I think that's what I said. I think I told Julia you can't digest your
No,
gum.
you said it'll take years. But the gum doesn't stay in your stomach.
Okay.
It moves.
Well, that's
It moves relatively intact through your digestive system and
Okay.
excreted in your stool.
okay. So that's encouraging that it doesn't just stay in there.
Right.
So does that mean I got it right or wrong?
You got it wrong.
Okay.
Because you said fact that it takes 7 years,
Oh, okay.
which is
All
what
right,
you told
okay.
Julia
Okay,
yesterday.
all right.
And she
You
was
keep-
like, what? Okay,
Oops.
so you lied to her.
Okay. I'll tell her the truth.
All right.
I'll make it up.
Ready?
All right. Yes.
Fact or fiction?
Yes.
Carrots help your vision.
Fact.
Okay, well, this is a fact, but kind of a fiction.
Okay.
Yes, But you will have to eat thousands and thousands of carrots.
Are you serious?
For it to actually, really correct your vision or really help it to,
oh my goodness,
significantly.
So what you read said that it actually does help your vision, but not significantly.
Yes, because it
enough
has
to...
vitamin A in it, and vitamin A is good for vision health.
But you
eating
so
carrots every day is not going to do it. You would have to eat thousands of carrots.
Wow. And I don't eat.
But we'll give you that
carrots. One. Okay, good. Thank you.
All right, last one. Fact or fiction?
All right.
Do women need more sleep than men?
Okay. Based on you and me, the answer has to be yes.
Very good.
Okay.
It is a fact. So if you didn't know that, women need 20 to 30 minutes extra sleep than men.
That's it?
Well,
20 minutes more? That's
but
it?
listen to why.
I'm saying I would assume you need like 2 hours more.
Well,
than
that's
me.
because I don't even get enough in the first place.
Okay.
So,
right.
And no woman gets enough sleep.
I don't agree with that.
It's true.
No.
Agree with me. You know that's true. Women do not get enough sleep because we have so much going on all the time.
Okay, what's the reason why women need more sleep than men?
Because we actually use more of our brain than men do.
Please.
It's true. Because we multitask.
Okay.
So our brains are constantly being used. So
your brains are more tired than us at the end of the day.
So we need some extra sleep.
Wow. So I should stop giving you a hard time when I wake up early and you're still in bed?
Yes, and then he wants me to get up in the morning.
Well, you have to get up.
I'm talking about when I'm Sunday, like a regular Sunday when I can sleep in.
Right.
You're like, come on, babe, get up. I'm like, can I sleep in, please?
Oh, man.
The only time that I can sleep in.
All right, I'll lay off of you then.
Thank you.
Well, that was fun. So how many did I get right just now?
I think you got 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. That's not too good. All right. Well, we have our word of the day. Word of the day for today is appropriate for our episode.
Okay.
The word of the day is the word retreat.
Ooh, yeah.
Retreat. It means to withdraw to a quiet or secluded place. Now, when you hear the word retreat, what you probably think of is like, you're in a war or something like that, and you decide that you're going to, you're being overpowered, so you're going to back off and basically just retreat. That's what you think of. That
sounds about right.
And so that's why I chose the word, actually.
Oh, good.
I chose it because what I think we're doing is, I think the work life that we have is like a fight. Mm-hmm. And I think instead of fighting so much, sometimes we should just retreat.
I like that.
I think that's a problem that we have. Yes. I think even though it goes against culture and stuff like that, I just feel like we need to actually retreat, to withdraw and to come aside for a while and take some time for ourselves. That's what you need to do. So that's, honestly, I think we should give that as like a homework assignment for you this week.
That's right.
Find a way during this week to actually retreat. How are you going to de-stress? If you have nothing to de-stress with, you got to find something at least this week, at least one thing. So no more stress.
That's right, babe.
We're done.
No more stress.
Yeah.
No more urgent care for me.
Yeah, exactly. Getting that. So thanks so much for listening to Just John and April. You can check us out on Facebook. Follow us there at John and April. Or you can follow us on Instagram at Just John and April. Or you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. Just click on that, and we will see you next time.
Okay.
That I'm so far away from you. You never have to fall, 'cause I'm right here before you call.